The Marvels, something new for you. It's your boy Icon with a Marvel review, a Marvel movie review. And we're going to be using this M word a lot lately. So before we get started, as always, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, as we talk about some of this good superhero goodness. So now, right out the gate, I'm going to say that I did enjoy the movie. I thought it was cute. I thought it was cute. It was enjoyable. It was an enjoyable 2 hours and 10 minutes. It wasn't like an epic sci-fi thriller where I was on the edge of my seat, but it was a good movie and I did think it was cute. And if you follow my channel from before, I've already done reviews for WandaVision. If you want to know my thoughts on that, I did reviews for the Captain Marvel movie, and I also did reviews for Miss Marvel, the TV series, so all that's up on my channel, and some things from those reviews will probably get mentioned here. So now, going back to the Marvel, it actually, it starts with good old Kamala Khan. And, in her series, at the end of her series, we saw the clip where she got blasted into her closet and Captain Marvel took her place, and then now we find out why. Captain Marvel, apparently, she's been in outer space, for years, like saving the galaxy, protecting lives. She grew her hair back out. Looks like she got a lot thinner, than she did from Avengers Endgame. Monica Rambeau, because we saw at the end of WandaVision, Monica got selected by Nick Fury to join him in outer space, which she accepted the call. So now she's in outer space working with Sword. I believe it's Sword. Nick Fury's in the series too. He's in the movie because, as we saw in the Nick Fury series, the Skrull Invasion series, as we saw, he didn't die, and they spoiled that in the Marvel's trailer, so we knew Nick Fury was around. There's this Kree woman character where she's on the moon apparently, or she's on like a rock or something. She's in outer space, and she ends up finding the second bangle that belongs to Kamala Khan, because as we know from the Miss Marvel TV series, that Kamala Khan's nanny gave her the bangle that she had, but the other bangle belonged to like a friend of hers, and there was like this argument or some shit, and like the bangles got split up. One ended up someplace, one ended up in the other, but we never actually found out what happened to the second bangle. So this particular like Kree woman, she found the second bangle on the moon and she dug it up and put it on her wrist. Once she puts the bangle on her wrist, she starts getting the power of whatever it is, the power that the bangle does. And there was a moment where Monica Rambeau, she was in outer space, like investigating an anomaly. Nick Fury had spoke to Captain Marvel, who was also in outer space, and she was, investigating that same anomaly. Both of them were on the comms together, and the whole conversation is basically when you watch the Captain Marvel movie and you see Monica talking to Captain Marvel as a child when she was about to go into outer space for the last time and she didn't see her again. That was the last time she saw her, and she never saw Captain Marvel again or Aunt Carol. So this is actually the first time the two of them are having conversations since then. Monica's a grown-ass woman now. Captain Marvel was actually excited to speak to her because when she was talking to Fury and then she heard Monica, she was like, oh, is that Monica? And then Monica was like acting like she didn't hear her because she didn't want to talk to Carol. And then, they were just like, listen, let's just focus on the thing and and do what we got to do. So when they get to the anomaly, both Monica and Carol, the energy that this woman was like creating, because of the bangle, both Monica and Carol touched that energy at the same time, at the exact same time that Kamala was home playing with her bangle. And because all three of them apparently touched it at the same time, it interlocked all of their powers together, which caused them to switch places with each other every time they use their power at the same time. If two of them use their power, they're going to switch. If all three of them, it's a triple rotation. And the crazy thing about that was Captain Marvel, at one point, she went to the moon to go fight the Kree woman. And when she was fighting the Kree woman, while she was having a battle with the Kree woman, that's when the switching kept happening, where the Kree battle ended up, going to the Agents of Sword base. Some of the fights took them to Kamala Khan's house. There was a moment where Kamala was home, then she got switched with Captain Marvel, who was fighting the monsters. Then the monsters ended up in Kamala's house, and then she got switched with Monica. Then Monica was fighting the monsters that was in, Miss Marvel's house. And then Miss Marvel got sent to the space station, which monsters were there sent to, because the whole thing, it was actually a very dope sequence. It was a dope sequence between the Agents of Sword base, Kamala's house, and outer space, and all three girls switching back and forth, picking up the fight from different places. The two things about it that didn't make sense to me was, one, how did Kamala Khan learn how to fight like that? Because when she was on the Sword base and her and Nick Fury were together, she was actually pulling off some fighting moves. I'm like, this girl had no combat training. Like I understand she has the power of the bangle and she can stretch her arms without. This girl had no combat training. So I'm like, how did she learn how to fight like that? And also, if Kamala's bangle and Monica and Carol's powers are all intertwined, if this Kree woman, the villain of this movie, if she has the other bangle, why was she not rotating with them as well? Why did the rotation only count for the heroes in the film and the rotation never counted for, for the villain? And I thought that was something that needed to be explained and addressed, which I don't think they ever addressed it. And it would have made sense for at least once during the movie for the villain to be switched out with them as well. So anyway, so like I said, so big fight happens, everybody's switching around or whatever. Monica got to meet Kamala's parents, Kamala met Nick Fury and everything. So now that everything's calmed down and the Kree woman dipped, they try to get back to basics and try to figure the whole thing out. So Monica and Fury went to Kamala's house to go talk to her. They were talking to her parents. And her mom, God bless her, Kamala's mom damn near stole this movie without, because I did enjoy her. I hated her in the beginning of the series, but then she actually grew on me towards the end. I did like Kamala Khan's mom, but her mom damn near stole the show in this movie with her comedy. But and again, that's appropriate comedy because I expect that from her mother. So anyway, so they go down, they talk to Kamala. They're just like, hey, we're investigating things. They got a whole dossier on Kamala Khan. They have footage of her and a dossier of her power. She was surprised by that because she was like, how did you guys get a dossier on me? And then there was a moment where Captain Marvel herself, while she was still in outer space, she's tracking this Kree woman, and then she tracked her to a Skrull planet because she figured that's where the woman was going to go. When she went to the Skrull planet, she went to go warn the Skrulls because the Kree woman was actually trying to make a pact with the Skrulls. Captain Marvel was on her way to that planet to warn the Skrulls that, hey, this woman's going to try to betray you. And there was a moment where she engaged in battle where she accidentally switched with Kamala. And then when she switched with Kamala, Kamala was on the planet. And then that's when she met the cat for the first time because Captain Marvel had the space cat and the cat was there. And then Monica and Brie, I keep calling her Brie. Captain Marvel and Monica, they saw each other for the first time. And then Captain Marvel tried to talk to her like, oh my God, how are you doing? How's it been? How are you, Monica? She's like, no, it's Captain Rambo. She was like, all right, bitch. So then the two of them flew to outer space to go help Kamala. They're in outer space. They're fighting with Kamala. Kamala meets Captain Marvel for the very first time and she starts freaking out, but then she tried to keep her composure. And then when the Kree woman saw that Kamala, Captain Marvel, and Monica were there at the same time, she said to the Skrulls, she was just like, oh, I came here for peace and you've betrayed us by bringing in the world killer, Captain Marvel. So she was like, peace is no more. And then she used the bangle and her little hammer thingy to open a breach into outer space, and she basically destroyed the planet. So then Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, and Kamala, they tried to save all the Skrulls that they could. They got as many Skrulls into the escape pods as they can. Some of them didn't make it. The Kree woman, she dipped, and then they got everybody up into outer space. So now Kamala's on this trip with them, she's with them. They're trying to figure out what's going on. And Captain Marvel made a phone call because she was like, look, I got almost millions of Kree soldiers on these ships. And she's like, how these people need help. So I need to find a place for them to go so we can go track this woman, we can stop her from doing whatever it is she's trying to do. So then Captain Marvel made a call to the Valkyrie from the Thor movies because, she's the queen of Asgard. Well, she's the king of Asgard now. Valkyrie shows up. She ends up taking the Skrulls with her. And I'm just like, did she take them to New Zealand in Earth? These Skrulls are obviously on Earth now because the Asgardians now live on Earth and there's no other place for them to go. So if Valkyrie is taking these Skrulls, she's legitimately bringing them to Earth. So she opened the Bifrost and she brought all the Skrulls back to Earth. I guess they're going to live on Asgard for a while until they can find a better situation, which allowed Kamala, Carol, and Monica to sit there and calm things down and have a conversation. And I will say this, because the way the trailers were put together and the way that Carol's character has been throughout the MCU so far, I thought the movie was going to be a dynamic where Monica was going to be the voice of reason and the level-headed one that knows what she's doing. Carol's going to be the bitchy hothead, and Kamala was going to be the comic relief. Surprisingly, Carol was actually very cool throughout the whole movie. She wasn't bitchy. She wasn't combative. She wasn't arguing with everybody. She was actually very level-headed, and I liked her attitude. I thought Carol's attitude was very good. She was actually pleasant to watch. She didn't make me roll my eyes and be like, oh God, here comes this bitch again. She was actually really cool. So like I said, maybe living in outer space by herself kind of chilled her down a little bit. I was perfectly fine with Carol's character. She apologized to Kamala for yelling at her, and she was very open and honest with Monica about why she left and everything. They did a whole scene where, Monica actually told her, she was just like, you said you would come back, Aunt Carol, and you never came back, and, it hurt my feelings and everything. And then, Monica was like, Carol actually, she was like, I'm sorry. She's like, it was cool. Like I said, her attitude throughout the film actually legitimately surprised me. So then, because of the threat and the attack, Nick Fury ended up bringing Kamala's family onto the sword base. And that's when her mom continued to try to steal the show. She kept referring to Fury as Nicholas, which I thought was funny. And then, they had this whole thing with the alien cat. The alien cat was with them. And for some reason, they didn't show how this happened. Apparently, while the cat was on Earth, the cat got pregnant somehow, and the cat was like laying eggs all over the sword base, and nobody had any idea what all those eggs were doing on the sword base. But meanwhile, the girls now, they're on the ship, and then that's when they figure out that the Kree woman, what she's doing is she's trying to save her planet. Because what happened is on the Captain Marvel movie, when Captain Marvel destroyed the AI intelligence that she thought was enslaving the Kree planet, that intelligence was also keeping the planet alive. And because she destroyed it, the Kree Empire, the Kree planet, they lost a lot of their natural resources. Their sun lost power, like their sun kind of burnt out for a little bit. And it put their planet in a state of darkness and a state where it was like the air was hard to breathe and it was very hard to survive, which was a problem for everybody. So what this woman was doing, what this Kree woman was doing, along with the power of the bangle, she was trying to restore her planet. And you honestly can't be mad at her about doing that. So what she was doing with the bangle was she was creating breaches where she went to one planet and I guess she stole their air and she teleported their oxygen from that planet to her planet. She went to another planet and she stole their water because there was another planet where apparently Carol is married to the king of the planet. It was a political decision used to bring like the countries or like the worlds together to ensure peace. It was a singing planet where people communicate through song. And that was a funny scene because when the three of them went there, like Monica's reaction throughout the whole thing, because obviously she ain't the type to be singing, but when they got there, like everybody was trying to figure out, because that's when they figured out like this girl's trying to, like steal natural resources from other planets. So they went to the singing planet, Carol met like, her political husband. And then she said, listen, the Kree are on their way to siphon some of your power, to siphon some of your resources. So she gets there, this whole big battle ensues on that particular planet. And the Kree woman, she survived, like she succeeded in stealing the water because she stole the water from their planet and tried to bring it to the Kree planet. So now that she's got all these resources, she's got everything that she needs, the only thing that she needs left to take is the sun. So this is where Earth comes in because what better sun to steal than the sun that, that resides on Earth. So now this woman's going to planet Earth to steal our sun. And when she got to planet Earth and she opened the breach to steal the sun from planet Earth and bring that sunlight over to the Kree Empire, that's when the sword base was under attack because they attacked the sword base and then they had to evacuate because there were a lot of people that were on the sword base and, like those people, they can't fly or anything and they didn't have enough escape pods. So they had to get everybody off the planet. So what ended up happening was all those eggs that the alien cat ended up laying ended up hatching into like baby kittens. And because those aliens have the power to use their tentacles to suck people in and then eventually spit them back out, they came up with the idea of having the baby kittens eat all the crew members to store them in their stomachs so they can transport them on the few escape pods that they had. And that was a cool moment, especially for me because I have two cats and I just lost one of my cats. Like she died over the weekend, which was very sad. And now I'm sitting in a theater watching a bunch of 500 million baby kittens running around. Like it kind of touched the heartstrings for a little bit, but it was a funny scene seeing like Nick Fury and all these people trying to round up all these kittens and get them to planet. Because then even the PA announcement, he was trying to tell all the crew members, he was like, listen, everybody, we're trying to get you off the base safely. Let the kittens eat you. And everybody was like, hell no. But the kittens ended up eating all the crew members and they got all of them off the sword base and back on the Earth. Meanwhile, now, like the Marvels now, they go into action. They go to fight the Kree woman. They're battling the Kree woman. And then during the battle where the three of them ended up fighting the girl together, they got the girl down at one point. But there was a moment where she got the best of Kamala. And when she had Kamala pinned down, she ended up taking the second bangle, so now she has both bangles. But then they said the girls fought her, they got her pinned down. I mean, her ribs ended up going into like a spike or something. And then when they had her down, that's when they were just like, listen, we can save your planet. Monica said that Carol actually has enough power in her to rejuvenate their sun, and she can restore the sun to the Kree Empire. So she's like, listen, you don't have to destroy our world. Let us help you save yours. And then the woman, she was like, okay, fine, for the Kree. But then she was just like, no, bitch, I lied. And then that's when she tried to use her power, to like siphon the sun. It didn't work. The Marvels took her out. Using both bangles, she ended up like she used too much power. She overloaded, and then the woman, like the villain, like she disintegrated, and now she's dead. Carol ended up giving both bangles back to Kamala, so now Kamala has the power of both bangles. And then that's when Monica said, what we can do is, in order to close the rift, because she opened a portal to siphon the sun. So she said that what we can do is, she said that both Carol and Kamala, now that you have the bangle, both of you pump Monica full of power, full of all of your energy, and Monica will use that energy to close the rift that was opened up by the Kree woman. So that's what happened. And then while Monica was trying to close the rift, trying to close the hole, there was a moment where she was on the other side of the rift trying to close it. And then Carol was like, bring your ass back over here, you know, before you get sucked in. And then she was like, no, because there's no way for me to do this without me being sucked in on the other side. She was like, don't try to save me. Carol, of course, tried to save her, but she didn't make it in time. Monica closed the rift with her on the inside, and then Monica disappeared. They lost her throughout space and time, but the world was safe, and everybody started crying. So and then after everybody started crying, they went back to Earth. Kamala went back to Earth. She, you know, she told Nick Fury everything that happened. She embraced her family. Captain Marvel kept her promise. She actually went back to the Kree homeworld, and she used her power to reignite their sun and brought their son back to life. And then after she brought the son back to life, she ended up going back home to Monica's old house when she was a kid. So I guess after living in space for as long as she was living in space, like Captain Marvel's going to live on Earth now in Monica Rambeau's childhood house. Because she even said during, you know, like during the thing that, because Monica asked her, she was like, you know, how come you never came back? You never kept your promise. And then that's when Captain Marvel told her, she said that the reason why she didn't come back is because she was ashamed. She said that she was the reason why the Kree Empire lost their planet, why they lost their power, why they lost their resources. And she said that she didn't want to come back home being known as like the world killer or like, you know, like the universe destroyer, whatever the hell they were calling her. She said that she wanted to get that shame, you know, like off her back before she could face Monica again. But we did see a scene when they were all using that memory device. We did see a scene that during the blip, when Monica was blipped, Carol did go talk to her mom when she was in the hospital dying of cancer. So she actually did have a conversation with her mom. You know, that's when she told her, she was like, look out for my baby. And then, you know, the mom died or whatever. So, you know, but then after that, you know, like Kamala and Miss Marvel, they ended up, you know, talking and everything, having a nice conversation. And then she was just like, you know, you're a superhero kid. What are you going to do? And then she was just like, well, you know, I actually have a theory on that, because the iPad that Monica had when she was at Kamala's house, she actually accidentally left it in Kamala's house because Kamala said it was on the couch. Kamala took that iPad and she went scrolling through it, and she found a dossier full of young superheroes, all the young Avengers, all the young teenagers, like, you know, all the youths that we've been seeing through all these Marvel TV shows and through all these Marvel movies. Kamala got the dossier on all of them, and she decided that since the Avengers aren't around or whatever the case, actually, I don't know why she decided to do this. It's not like the Avengers are gone and there's no one left to protect the planet. All the Avengers are here. So I guess Kamala just thought it would be cool to put a team together. So she found all the young heroes. And then in the final scene of the movie, it shows Kamala in New York, where she ran up on Kate from the Hawkeye series. And when, you know, then when she met up with Kate, she told Kate, she was just like, hey, this is you, because she showed her the dossier that they had, that Shield Sword had on her. And then she was just like, oh, I'm putting a team together of extraordinary young people. So now Kamala's basically going to be the person to bring all the young Avengers together. So she even mentioned Ant-Man's daughter. So Ant-Man's daughter is probably going to be a thing. They introduced Riri Williams in the Black Panther movie. So Kamala's obviously going to reach out to Riri. And like I said, any other, I'm trying to think of like all the young superheroes. Like I said, there was Ant-Man, there was Kate from Hawkeye. Like I said, think of any young hero that you can find throughout the course of like all these Marvel TV shows and movies. She's gonna recruit them. America Chavez from Doctor Strange. She's gonna be on the team too. Like I said, but now Kamala's gonna bring in like this group of young heroes. That was pretty much how the movie ended. And before we thank you for tuning in, there was an end credit scene where Monica woke up on the other side of the portal wormhole thingy that she was on. And when she woke up on the other side of the portal, she ended up in the X-Men. Well, I don't want to say the X-Men universe. In the Doctor Strange movie, when Doctor Strange went to that one world that had, like the council where it was like Captain Carter, it was Professor Xavier, blah, blah, blah. Monica's mother was on that team. She was on the council and she had the Captain Marvel powers. When Monica woke up in the hospital, the Beast from X-Men was in the hospital with her. He had mentioned Charles Xavier. And then when Monica woke up and saw that version of her mother. She was like, "Oh my God, mom, like I thought I lost you." And then her mother was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" She was like, "I ain't your mama." And then she was just like, "Girl, you came through a wormhole and you're on a completely different universe that's parallel to your own." And she was like, "I don't know who you are." And then that's when Monica was like, "Shit, like I traveled through like the fabric of time and space." So I guess she's coming back. I mean, she's obviously gonna come back. I don't know when she's gonna come back, but the dynamic between her and like her mom, not mom, is gonna be pretty interesting. I don't know what they're doing with the X-Men and how that's going to tie in, or if it's going to tie in. It could have just been a one-off, but it's very interesting to see what's going to happen now, and thank you for tuning in. So a few things. So like I said, the movie was good. Definitely check it out. I thought it was a good movie. One thing I did appreciate about it, they did not, because it's a movie about three female superheroes, three different races. We got an Indian girl, a black girl, and a white girl. The villain of the film, who was also a woman, the villain of the film. I mean, I don't know if she was Spanish or not, or racially ambiguous. I don't know, but it's like it was a multi cast of feminine talent. I said female villain, three female heroes. And they didn't shove that in your. There wasn't these conversations every 2 seconds about, "Oh, I'm a strong, independent woman." Like they didn't do that. If anything, they were making fun of it. like Nick Fury's character was making fun of those tropes throughout the movie, because there was a moment where like Captain Marvel was in outer space, and she accidentally switched places with Kamala. And then when she switched places with Kamala, Kamala was falling out of the sky. And when she was falling out of the sky, Nick Fury told Monica, he was like, "Yo, you got to fly up there and save her." And Monica was like, "I've never flown with my power before. I don't know how to do it." He was like, "You could do it." He said, "Come on, black girl magic." What I'm saying? Like he was actually making fun of, like those things. So they didn't shove the feminism in your face. And that's the thing about like strong female characters. The best way for you to be a strong female character and not have people roll their eyes is for you to just do what you have to do and not go out of your way to mention every 10 seconds that you're a strong female character. That's what I loved about the first Wonder Woman film. The Wonder Woman film wasn't about her like championing for women's rights, and she's like, "I'm a woman and I can do what the men can." That wasn't it. She was just a badass chick, and she just did badass shit, and everybody respected her as a warrior, not a female warrior, but a warrior, because she didn't talk about it. She just did it. And in this movie, they didn't talk about them being a female team. They were just a team of superheroes who just did the damn job. And I appreciated that. So I said the cat thing was cute. Like, I like the cat thing. I love Kamala's parents, so I'm looking forward to, Miss Marvel season 2 if they decide to do that. But I'm interested and not interested at the same time as far as like the whole Young Avengers thing, because like I said before, it's weird to me that Kamala is going to be the one to bring all these youths together, because the thing about it is, and I said this in a previous review, the way they've introduced all these young heroes, these are some of the worst, unlikable, inexperienced blunderheads of all time. Not one of these kids that they've introduced so far in any of these Marvel properties made me say, "Wow, that person knows what they're doing. The future looks bright as far as superheroism is concerned." No, if anything, I'm like, "Yo, these kids are fucking morons." And whatever they do, it's going to be a train wreck. And I'm not looking forward to seeing them come together, because it's not going to work. But I guess from an experience factor, Kamala is the closest one out of all of them who actually has some sort of experience to do this. So I guess her being the one to bring them together, is the right call. Well, the problem is, why is she bringing them together other than her just thinking it's cool? But share your questions, comments, and concerns down below. Like I said, I don't care about the box score. Like if you leave a comment, like I don't care how much money the movie made in opening weekend. Blue Beetle didn't do great at the box office either, and I fucking love Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle was the shit. I bought the damn Blu-ray for the Blue Beetle. That's how much I love Blue Beetle. I don't care if the damn movie made money over the weekend or not, because a lot of factors go into that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, as far as the Marvels are concerned, women have to actually come out and support this for it to do awesome numbers at the box office. You know what I'm saying? Because women will, especially mothers will always take their children to go see Spider-Man. So Spider-Man will always make money. But those same women also need to take their kids to go see a superhero movie about superhero females. As far as Blue Beetle went, the Spanish community, I got to come out for that one, because I mean, from what I was told, like the numbers, like the movie suffered financially due to the Spanish community not coming out to support it, which is crazy to me, because it was a movie about a Spanish superhero. So the fact that they didn't get supported by their own, it's disappointing. You know what I'm saying? And it sends the wrong message to Hollywood, because now Hollywood's gonna say, hey, look, we tried to do diversity. We gave you a Spanish superhero. We gave you a superhero movie about 3 women, and people didn't come out to see it. So doing diversity is a waste of time. Let's get more blonde hair, blue-eyed white people, because that makes money. And I'm like, that's not true. That's not the case. And it's just disappointing that the people that often champion and cry about, you know, things being inclusive and things being together, the people that are just like, oh, we need to do better, we need more diversity, the people who scream the loudest about diversity are the ones who don't even come out to support diversity when it happens. But and that's something that needs to change. But from a comic book standpoint, I enjoyed the Marvels. I'm looking forward to see where these characters go from here, and I hope you share your questions, comments, and or concerns down below with me. Hit the like button, hit the notification bell, so you can get, you get notified when my videos pop up, because the series finale of Doom Patrol is up on my channel, which is very sad because I love me some Doom Patrol. The season finale of Loki is on my channel as well, so check that out for you Marvel fans. And we got the Aquaman movie coming out in December. I thought it was January. December 20th, Aquaman, Throne of Atlantis. No, The Lost Kingdom. Aquaman, The Lost Kingdom comes out. I'm deeply looking forward to that, because that's the last movie we get before we say goodbye to the Snyderverse as a whole. And I'm looking forward to hearing all your questions, comments, and concerns and opinions as well. So that was it, guys. So thank you for tuning in as always. Again, go check out the Marvels when you get the chance. I'll be watching Blue Beetle when it comes out on Max and on Blu-ray. So till next time, for the power of Oh, and Monica never got a code name either. They were talking about a code name the whole film. She never got one. So for Captain Marvel, for Monica Rambeau, Captain, and for Miss Marvel, we'll see you on the next one. And we're out this bitch!